there's kind of broadly two groups of sleep issues that we see. There's the can't sleep and the won't sleep. The can't sleep is the people who want to sleep more but can't because of insomnia and other sleep disorders. And then there's this group of people who are cutting their sleep short. The people who won't sleep, who are deliberately cutting their sleep short, have a much higher risk of all of those conditions that we discussed and a higher risk of mortality in the long term. So cutting sleep short is a really, really bad idea for health reasons. But it's not just that. This idea that people think they can get used to it is just false. So there are lots of studies out there that show that people who are sleeping less, and they've done these in these studies, they have deprived people. They're difficult studies to do. You got to get ethical approval, and you can't use large numbers of people, and they're expensive to run. So there's not loads and loads of them, but the studies that have been done are really, really clear. When you start to deprive people of sleep, and first of all they let them sleep as they normally would, and then they deprive them of an hour, or they do it in separate groups. So people who've just had 1 hour of sleep less than usual, or 3 hours of sleep less than usual, or 5 hours of sleep less than usual. And for a very short time, you can deprive people of sleep completely. And the pattern is very, very clear. As you deprive people of sleep, the more and more you deprive people of sleep, the worse and worse their performance becomes. And in fact, it falls off a cliff. It's not a straight line. 1 to 3 hours, it starts to decline in a relatively straight line. After that, it really falls off a cliff. But what doesn't fall off a cliff is their perception of how they're doing. So even though as you deprive their sleep, their performance gets worse and worse, they think they are still performing well. And so that's where this belief comes from, I think, that actually I can function fine on 5 hours sleep. No, you can't. You think you can, but your performance is significantly worse. So in my view, and you don't have to just take my word for it, look up Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, who has a number of quotes about this, that people who are skimping on their sleep to try and be more productive is an absolute false economy. You are less productive, not more productive.